Hello again, new viewers and existing subscribers. Welcome back to my channel. Today's story comes to us from our subscriber, Brad from America, and it's a fascinating glimpse into a complex relationship he's been navigating in Bangkok. I just finished spending an incredible week with my local girlfriend here in Bangkok while the wife was out of the country. It truly felt like a honeymoon for us. We spent our days exploring hidden temples away from the tourist crowds, indulging in delicious street food and vibrant night markets, and enjoying relaxing evenings in my condo, just the two of us. We even took a day trip out of the city, exploring a floating market and enjoying the lush scenery. There were no distractions, no responsibilities, other than enjoying each other's company. It was a concentrated period of romance and connection, the kind that makes you feel deeply bonded. While this week was mostly fun and a chance for us to deepen our relationship, it also reinforced a crucial point that I feel compelled to share with other Western men in similar situations. Those of you living in the USA, Europe, Australia, or elsewhere, and financially supporting a girl here in Thailand. Our little honeymoon highlighted just how intense and fulfilling life can be here for a young woman. The point I want to strongly emphasize for the viewers of this video is that you are taking a significant risk if you think your girl is genuinely okay with you living so far away and still being completely faithful to you. Life in Thailand offers many temptations and opportunities, especially in a bustling city like Bangkok. When your continent's away, she has her own life, her own social circle, and the constant possibility of meeting other men who are physically present. While your financial support might be appreciated, it can't entirely fill the void of companionship and physical intimacy. Human connection is a powerful need, and long distances put a tremendous strain on any relationship, let alone one where the dynamics might already be somewhat unconventional due to the financial support involved. It's a reality many might not want to face, but the odds of maintaining absolute fidelity across such distances are, in my opinion, stacked against you. One is a woman that I have known for nearly a year now. Her work history is in massage, specifically in what I would describe as more traditional Thai massage parlors rather than the go-go bar type places. She's been doing this for the last few years to support herself and her children. Speaking of her children, they are from her relationship with her original Thai partner. It's a somewhat complicated situation, as they were never officially married because, as is sometimes the case here, he never officially divorced his first wife. This has left one in a somewhat precarious social and legal position, though she handles it with a quiet strength. From the very beginning of our acquaintance, I was upfront and honest with one about my own situation, that I am married and have absolutely no intention of divorcing my current wife. My wife is a truly wonderful and sweet lady, and we share a deep bond and history. But sadly, our physical intimacy has faded over the years. She simply isn't interested in sex anymore. My relationship with one started on a purely physical level, a way for me to fulfill that aspect of my life that was missing at home. However, over the past year, something unexpected has happened. Our connection has gradually become much more emotionally intense. We talk for hours, share our thoughts and feelings, and I find myself genuinely caring for her well-being. She's in her early 30s and today marks my 63rd birthday. It's quite something when I realize that she is 2 years younger than my oldest daughter and just a year older than my youngest daughter, both of whom live back in the USA. Yet, when we are together, people often remark that we look a similar age. I've been incredibly fortunate with my genetic makeup, which seems to have blessed me with a youthful appearance that most people peg as being in my early 40s. Sometimes, when I look in the mirror, or especially when I see my age on official documents, I can't help but think the hospital made a mistake on my birth certificate. It just doesn't seem right. Juan's relationship with the man she considered her husband, though, as I mentioned, they were never officially married due to his existing first wife, lasted for a significant 10 years. The breakup was a culmination of several deeply troubling issues. His excessive drinking had become a constant source of stress and worry for Juan, often leading to unpredictable behavior and neglecting his responsibilities. On top of that, he had developed a serious problem with yaba, which is a type of methamphetamine popular in this region. These yaba binges would often last for days, leaving him erratic, unreliable, and undoubtedly putting a strain on their family life and Juan's emotional well-being. The final straw, as is so often the case, came when Juan discovered that he had become involved with a younger woman. This betrayal, on top of the existing problems with his substance abuse, was something she simply couldn't endure any longer, and she made the difficult decision to end their decade-long partnership. They had met quite early in Juan's time in Bangkok. She was only 20 years old, having come to the capital for the second time to try and earn a better living for herself and her family back in the Northeast. He was 10 years her senior, around 30 at the time, and they connected relatively quickly amidst the bustling city life. Juan, like many women who come to Bangkok for work, hails from the Isan region of Thailand, the northeastern part of the country known for its more rural and often poorer provinces. Interestingly though, Juan has a noticeably lighter skin complexion than many of her sisters from the northeast. This is a subtle but often remarked upon difference, as people from Isan tend to have a slightly darker skin tone compared to those from other regions of Thailand. Unlike what one might typically expect from ladies who come from the Isan region to work in Bangkok, Juan possesses a strong and noticeable entrepreneurial streak. While many others might simply focus on their assigned tasks, Juan actively seeks out opportunities to improve her situation and contribute to the success of her workplace. For example, she has taken initiative to help her boss, who owns several massage shops across the city, to open and establish new locations. This isn't just passively waiting for customers. Juan actively goes out and markets the new places. I've seen her diligently handing out leaflets in high traffic areas like busy malls and bustling supermarket entrances, engaging with potential customers and promoting the services offered. This proactive approach is quite unusual in her profession, where many tend to be more passive in their roles. Because of her dedication and the tangible results she brings in terms of attracting new clientele, Juan enjoys certain perks at the massage shops that her colleagues are quite envious of. These include things like not being penalized for occasionally showing up a little late, having more flexibility with her working hours, and even getting free hours or treatments as a reward for her efforts. The other ladies in the shops who perhaps don't have the same drive or initiative can't help but notice and feel a degree of jealousy towards the advantages Juan has earned. As Juan and I have grown closer over the past year, we've naturally started to share more personal aspects of our lives, including our checkered pasts. Without going into explicit details, we've both experienced our fair share of life's ups and downs, navigating complex relationships and making choices that have shaped who we are today. I've made it clear to Juan that I have absolutely no desire to try and change her, to sit in judgment of her previous experiences, or to try and exert any sense of ownership over her life. My feelings for her are genuine, and what I truly want for her is simple: for her to have a happy and fulfilling life, whatever that may look like for her. My role in her life is to be a supportive and positive presence, not a controlling one. Normally, our routine involves meeting up once or twice a week. Sometimes, if her work schedule allows, I'll visit her at one of the massage shops where she works. We might spend some time chatting before or after her clients, or if things are quiet, we might find a more private space there. Other times, for more focused and intimate time together, we'll meet at a short-time hotel. These places are quite common and discreet here in Bangkok, offering privacy for couples to spend a few hours together. From the beginning of our physical relationship, we both prioritized our sexual health. I made sure to get myself tested at the local Red Cross clinic to verify that I was free of any STDs, and one informed me that she had undergone a comprehensive health check, including STD testing, as part of her membership with a local swim club. She's quite a keen swimmer and takes it seriously. Knowing that we are both clean allows us to enjoy our sexual intimacy with the comfort and freedom of a husband and wife. It's a very natural and uninhibited part of our connection. We've even found ourselves occasionally fantasizing about the idea of having a baby together. Of course, we both know that with my vasectomy, which I had many years ago, this is just a sweet fantasy, a reflection of the deep emotional bond we've developed, and perhaps a longing for a more traditional future that we both understand is not possible for us. Adding another layer of complexity to one's life is a sort of boyfriend she has who lives overseas in a Western country. From what she's told me, this man is quite smitten with her and sends her a modest amount of money each month to help support her and her children. They initially connected online, and he clearly has hopes for a more serious relationship with her. In fact, he even paid for her to travel to his country and live with him for a few months last year to see if their online connection would translate into a real-life spark. However, as she confided in me, despite his kindness and generosity, she just didn't feel that romantic connection, that spark during the time they spent together. He is also currently paying for her to attend language classes to improve her proficiency in his language, which I believe is German. She feels a significant amount of guilt about this situation. She appreciates his financial support and his efforts, but she simply doesn't reciprocate his romantic feelings. She's been wrestling with how to tell him the truth without causing him too much pain, as she genuinely doesn't want to hurt him, but she knows she can't continue leading him on when her heart isn't in it. During the last week, we spent together at a small but charming hotel, tucked away in the bustling Sukhumvit area. I couldn't help but overhear some of one's phone calls. He, her overseas boyfriend, would call her every day. And while I didn't understand the language, her side of the conversation and her tone suggested a caring and attentive man on the other end. He seemed genuinely interested in her day, asking about her studies and her well-being. From her responses, he appeared to be a kind and supportive individual. It struck me that if one truly loved him and felt that spark she mentioned, I would genuinely be happy for her. I care deeply for her, and ultimately, her happiness and finding a fulfilling path in her life are what I want for her, even if that path doesn't include me. On the incredibly positive side of our relationship, words truly cannot capture the intense and intoxicating feeling of being with someone who is so wildly in love with you. One's focus during our time together is solely on giving me pleasure while simultaneously experiencing her own. It's a level of devotion and attention that evokes the intense euphoria of a first honeymoon. There's simply nothing in the world that can match that feeling of being so completely desired and cherished. She's been so eager to be a part of my life in small but meaningful ways. She's been practicing her haircutting skills on a friend so that she can eventually cut my hair herself, a gesture that feels incredibly personal and sweet. She often expresses the desire to buy me new shirts, carefully selecting styles she thinks I'll look good in, and she loves to rub cologne on me after my shower. Little acts of service and affection that feel like she's trying to subtly mark me as hers in her own way. At the same time, she's incredibly respectful of my primary relationship. She knows never to call me at my home and takes great care to ensure that she does absolutely nothing that could raise my wife's suspicions. She understands the boundaries of our relationship and navigates them with a surprising level of maturity and consideration. The inherent downside to our relationship, which we both acknowledge, is that one knows I will not be able to stay in Thailand indefinitely. In fact, I've been quite open with her and have let her know that my wife has been seriously considering a move later this year. We haven't finalized the destination yet, but the discussions have been leaning towards returning to the United States to be closer to our daughters. I've shared this potential timeline with Juan, so she understands that our time together in Bangkok is likely finite. Knowing this, Juan recently proposed a solution that would allow us to spend more quality time together in the coming months. She suggested that I contribute a few thousand baht each month towards renting a small apartment in the city. She envisions this as our own little love nest, a private space where we could meet up a few times a week for some intimate time together until my eventual departure. She was quite specific that this was her only request, other than simply wanting my love and affection within the boundaries of my existing marital situation. She hasn't asked for any other financial support for herself or her family, which further underscores the genuine emotional connection we share. My initial thought was that it's a reasonable proposition. If my wife's move does indeed happen within the next couple of months, it might not be worth the effort of setting up a separate apartment. However, if the move gets delayed for more than a couple of months, as these things often do, I will likely take her up on her offer. It would provide us with a more comfortable and private space to enjoy our remaining time together. And a few thousand baht a month is a relatively small price to pay for the happiness and connection we find in each other's company. Where will we go from here? The reality is that there will very likely be tears and heartbreak coming soon, as my plans currently involve leaving Thailand within the next 3 months or so. This is a fact that hangs over our time together, a bittersweet undercurrent to our joy. One is at a crossroads too. She might ultimately decide to stick with her overseas boyfriend. He clearly offers her a more stable and conventional future, especially with his family's affection for her and his deep love. However, just the other night, during a particularly heartfelt conversation, she seemed more determined than ever to finally break things off with him. She even spoke about wanting to find a way to repay him for the language school support he has so generously provided. This desire to repay him speaks volumes about her integrity and her discomfort with accepting such significant help when she doesn't see a long-term romantic future with him. The main issues for one seem to be that she feels increasingly controlled by him. While he may be loving, his expectations and perhaps his personality make her feel trapped and unable to be truly herself. And then there's the undeniable issue of sexual compatibility. She has been quite open with me, stating plainly, "I like old man," and emphasizing that she simply doesn't experience the same level of physical satisfaction with her overseas boyfriend. In her words, she doesn't finish with him the way she does with me. This resonates deeply with me, as I know from my own experience with my first wife just how crucial sexual compatibility is for a lasting and fulfilling relationship. It's a fundamental aspect of intimacy that, when missing, can create a significant and ultimately insurmountable barrier. On my part, when I eventually leave Thailand, I know I will miss one a great deal. It won't just be the physical intimacy, it will be her infectious laughter, the way her eyes light up when she's happy, the small thoughtful gestures she makes, and the genuine care she shows for my well-being. I'll carry with me many, many happy memories of the times we've spent together. The quiet evenings in my condo, our adventures exploring Bangkok, that wonderful trip to Phuket, and even the simple act of her practicing her hair cutting on her friend with the intention of eventually cutting mine. These are the moments that will warm me in my declining years, little sparks of joy to look back on. I've been fortunate enough to have had a few girlfriends in the past who still hold a special place in my heart. Even now, years later, I still think of them fondly, picturing specific moments we shared, remembering the loving things we did for each other, and the kind words they spoke to me. These memories are like treasures I've collected throughout my life. To me, women truly are the most wonderful part of this world. Their capacity for love, their empathy, their strength, and their beauty, both inside and out, are, in my opinion, the very best reasons why life is worth living. They bring a richness and depth to existence that nothing else can replicate. So, as for what happens next with Juan and me, we will simply have to wait and see. Real life, as I've come to learn, is rarely a straight line or a predictable path. It's an ongoing saga filled with unexpected twists and turns, and all we can do is navigate it with an open heart and hope for the best possible outcome, whatever that may be. Finally, as a closing note to those guys who are not living here in Thailand but are trying to keep a long-distance relationship alive with a woman here, based on my own experiences and observations, I strongly suggest you either make the commitment to move to Thailand yourself, or, perhaps more realistically and kindly, set her free. While she may genuinely try to be faithful to you, the reality is that long-distance relationships, especially across such significant cultural and geographical divides, simply do not tend to work out for very long. The daily realities of life in Thailand, the social pressures, the longing for physical presence and intimacy, these are powerful forces that are difficult to overcome with just phone calls and occasional visits. You might think she's happy with your financial support and the promise of a future together, but the day-to-day emotional and physical needs can often lead people to seek connection closer to home. Don't put yourself in the vulnerable and potentially painful position where a guy like me, who is physically present and offering companionship, will be in bed with your girl while you're thousands of miles away, asking her on the phone if everything is okay. It's a harsh truth, perhaps, but one that I believe is important for men in this situation to consider seriously. The odds are stacked against the long-distance scenario, and while there might be exceptions, it's often kinder to both parties to either bridge that distance permanently or allow her the freedom to find happiness and connection in her own environment. So, there you have it. A very personal and revealing story from Brad about his connection with Juan during his time in Bangkok. We heard about their special week together, the complexities of both their lives and past relationships, and Brad's candid insights into the challenges of maintaining long-distance relationships with women in Thailand. It's a story that touches on themes of connection, cultural differences, and the often unconventional paths that relationships can take. What are your thoughts on Brad's story? Have you ever been in a long-distance relationship, especially across cultures? Or perhaps you have insights into the dynamics of relationships in Thailand. Share your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We're always interested in hearing your perspectives and creating a community for open discussion. If you found Brad's story engaging and thought-provoking, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you enjoy hearing these personal accounts and exploring different perspectives on relationships and life abroad, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next story. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.